when Trump won in 2016, John Kerry, for some unknown reason, flew to Antarctica, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is all facts, man. You can look it up. And immediately was removed from Antarctica and landed in New Zealand, and like a 8.07 or something like that earthquake hit New Zealand at the exact same time he landed, right? And the rumor was he went down there to, you know, try to do something or whatever. And they're not going to interfere with our lives on the surface, and they told him to leave. And as a warning, they shook New Zealand for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody watches this video from New Zealand, if you were alive when that earthquake took place in 2016, let us know if you remember that or not. But that happened as well. And also, too, man, a lot of people have reported, a lot of whistleblowers have reported that when they get into the middle of Antarctica, it's more like a desert than it is a, you know, it's not that cold, and there's not that much snow, and there's not a lot of mountains. It's kind of flat, right? And Steve, one more fun fact for you on that is that if you read the Book of Enoch, the Book of Enoch describes the prison that the Watchers were, you know, put in, and the Nephilim were put in, and it sounds a lot like Antarctica, like the real description of Antarctica, right? So, Fidukery is abounded in Antarctica down there, Enigmites.
That's right.
And for a place that we only go down there to test soil samples for unknown billions of dollars of reasons. Sure does have a lot of restrictions, and it sure does have a lot of smoke. So there must be some fire somewhere.
A lot of secrecy goes on down there.
Right. Yeah, right. So a lot of secrecy goes on down there. A lot of secrecy goes on down there, man. And yeah, man, I actually think that, like, that's a pretty cool. Would you go visit? Would you go down there?
I mean, I've always thought it would be cool to go down there and see it. I mean, it's just as far as we know, just a big cold wasteland. But I mean, it would be an experience for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out in base camp. Like, I want to go towards them. I want to go where you tell me I can't go. Right? Like, I want to go to that. Like, I want to see that. Right? Like, I just want to go down there and sit in the sit in the trailer for 3 months watching The Big Bang Theory and eating Pop-Tarts. I wouldn't do that, right?
You do that at home.
Here, right? So, no, like I would want to go down there, man, and I would want to go into the places where, you know what, like, hey, this is the, the off limits portions, and I'd like to see it, right?
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be great, man. Another thing too, I heard a report. I've heard. You can easily go online, man, and go on YouTube, but I can't substantiate the stories like we can this one, right? So that's why I didn't want to say that like so and so had this encounter, so and so had this encounter. People have reported. Now I will say for fun. So that's the end of Operation High Jump, right? And as we wrap it up here, but I will tell you some of the more cool stories that I've heard, right, down there. You heard about the ice spiders?
No, but I want to hear more.
Yeah, so supposedly, again, unsubstantiated. This has nothing to do with Project High Jump, Operation High Jump, everybody. This is something that, like, you can go on YouTube and all these other places, and people have said that they've encountered them. Normally from C-130 pilots flying supply missions is the source that they credit these to. And supposedly they are big ice spiders down there. Big ones, like horse-sized spiders that they were talking about seeing. And they were like, they just called them ice spiders or whatever because, they were in the cold down there as well. There was also a story that was told to me about U.S. Navy SEALs finding a being sent into basically like the movie The Thing. They got sent into a side of a mountain. It looked like the inside of a spaceship with all these holograms inside, right? Illuminated up with all these hieroglyphics on it, right? And they were in there and they experienced some type of weirdness as well. But also, two people report that we have a HARP station down there, which we do, and we have all kinds of other stuff down there as well. And I've always said that the Earth is round, and so that if you wanted to land, if you wanted to come into our atmosphere, the southern The South Pole would be perfect because you would come right up underneath the Earth, and no one's down there looking at anything, so you wouldn't even see it, right? But it's a definitely interesting place, man. Did you ever watch that show? There used to be a show on TV about trying to save the whales. I forget what it was called, man. Like they were chasing down like Japanese whaling ships. Evidently, Japan still whales. So does like Norway, or I don't know why we still do that, but they still do it or whatever. And I thought I got real militant one time. I was going to go down there and join one of those, anti-whaling ships or whatever.
You joining Greenpeace or something like that?
Yeah, something like that, man. Right. But then I was like, nah, man, let me stop. Let me quit before I take it too far. Right. But yeah, so that's Antarctica in a nutshell, man. Is very, very mysterious, man. A lot of stuff,
Absolutely.
A lot of weird stuff goes on down there, man. It does, man.
I mean, it's the largest continent, I think, on the planet. And it's completely uninhabited and has been forever.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what could actually be down there. There's no history to documented anything like that. And no one's allowed to go down there. So who knows? There's going to be mysteries down there for all time because no one's ever going to be able to go down there and find out. And
I actually read somewhere too, man, that there's supposedly mountain-sized piles of coal. And like there's also a volcano down there that supposedly erupts gold. Like I just like heard it's like full, like, I mean, this is stuff, man, that like you just come across, right?
And we'll never know either, is the problem.
And we'll never know, right? Like I mean, we're two important dudes, I'll tell you that right now. Don't let the Thundercat shirt and the Super Nintendo shirt throw you off, son, right? Like, first of all, right, don't let it throw you off, right? I never know what's gonna happen when that phone rings, right? But I will say this. The odds of Sasquatch Steve Taylor and Professor Augustus getting a phone call saying, I need you on a tarmac, I need you down in Antarctica tomorrow to handle something, probably about that slim.
Yeah, that looks about right.
It's about that right. Looks about that right, man. Like, it's about that slim, right? Like, I'm not saying it can't happen, but my phone ringing and saying that they need me down there. Who knows, man? Maybe the Atlanteans are watching our podcast right now.
Yeah.
Ding.
They need someone to rebroadcast their message.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.